Yep, it's arrived. Hope you're all tickety boo. Now, after a short delay with a ridiculous import in here in the UK, this little beast has actually landed here. We have the latest beast from Canon, the awesome Canon R5 Mark II. And if you're as hyped as I am about this little beauty, then stay tuned. We're going to do a quick unboxing on it and some of my first impressions about how this powerhouse, yes, I mean powerhouse of camera, is actually going to take the photo and video world by storm. And before we check it out, just to let you know, I've only just got it, so this is only my first impressions, like I said. But what I am going to do is do loads of videos on this little beauty once I've had a chance to get out in the field and use it properly. That's if the weather actually changes here in the UK. But you wouldn't believe it's summer, would you? But at the end of the day, there's loads of new features on here that I want to give a good test before I give you my overall view and review on them. So I will be making loads of videos and things like that, so make sure you hit the old subscribe so you don't miss out. And we're also going to look at how to colour grade the C-Log2, which is one of the features that has made me pick this camera at the end of the day, because I've been waiting for that in all the Canon cameras that I've owned over the years, and for some reason they've never put it in there. But because of the dynamic range on this one and the R1 that's coming out soon, and we should have that one as well, they've added it in there, which is absolutely fantastic. Plus some extra little surprises that I didn't expect to get in this box that may lead me to getting rid of the Lumix S5 Mark IIs, and that would be a hard thing to do because the video quality on that is absolutely awesome.
But if you do, I won't tell anyone.
So first things first, let's have a look at the box. As you would expect from Canon, pretty sleek. In fact, I think this is smaller than the R6 when it first came out. In fact, probably even smaller than the R, because you had the adapters in there as well. But as you'd expect, quality box from Canon, but that's not going to make you buy a camera, is it? But a little photo of the camera on the side might make you do it, mightn't it? And on the side here, you got a few of the specs. The 45 megapixel stacked sensor on there, the fact that it does 8K, not that I'll be using that often, and the bit that, even though it was good enough anyway, that insane improved autofocus. This thing is just packed to the brim with loads of features. So let's get this little baby open, shall we? Alrighty then. Everything's really organised inside. First up, the usual paperwork. Yeah, it is a paper book, believe it or not. I don't even know if I'll actually open that because I never refer to them, but it's nice that they actually add that because not everybody wants to use the phone. And also, if you take it with you and you're out and about and you've got no signal, then you've got that to refer to, haven't you? Inside then here, you will see we've got this here, which is, and in fact, the wrappings on this are even better than the ones on the R3 and things like that. I don't know what they've used. It feels like linen or something like that. But we've got that battery, which actually is a bit of a disappointment to me because they've changed the batteries, and apparently, and I won't know until I test it, you can't use the old ones in there, or you can use them, but it will limit the functions on it. So I'm a bit miffed about that, Canon. However, we know you got to make money and we know you want to sell us new batteries. I'm going to have to order 3 or 4 of them. But what I will do in my tests, I'll test the other third-party ones that I own, plus the old Canon batteries to see whether or not they work and what limitations it makes on the camera. So if you've got any questions about that, leave them in the comments down below. Right. Now then, we've got a nice little strap here, okay, and it actually looks like it's really good quality. It's not that I'm going to use this because I use my Peak Design ones even. However, it's really nice, and they've actually embroidered everything in there, including Canon EOS R Mark II. Don't know if I'd want to wear that because all it shouts out is "come and rob me."
Anyway, that's when we realized the kid was trying to steal the camera.
Now then, let's look at that little surprise. Here it is. Now, it's not a big surprise, but it's a surprise to me because all the other brands out there have started not including these and then expecting you to pay another 100 odd quid to get a really proper one from them, their actual ones that they make. But you can go and buy third-party ones, I know. But it is nice to have, I feel anyway, especially when you're spending this sort of money on a camera, okay, a proper battery charger. So there we go. It's in there. I'm hoping the cables are in the bottom somewhere. Right, now then, let's lift this one out of the way, and hopefully the camera's going to be in there, but let's see what else is in there. So, yeah, we've got cables there. That's the one for the charger. Put that to one side. You don't really want to look at that, do you? Inside here, what's this? Let's have a look. It's a bit tight and fiddly, this one. It looks to me, yeah, it is. It's a decent USB-C cable. Now, apparently, from some of the videos I've been watching, you can't actually use this to run the camera while you're filming, but I think that's a bit of bullshit, to be honest with you, because once you've got the battery in there, or I found that with all my other Canon cameras, and why would they limit that? You can plug this in, and what it does is charges it at the same time as you're using it. But we'll look at that in one of the future videos. Another little thing over here, okay, they do add some nice little bits in, which you would expect at the price, as I said. We have got the, that is the cable management system. It's nice that they include that. It's a bit plasticky, I know, but if you're like me, you use HDMI cables, and we'll come on to that in a minute, it's nice to have that as an added extra and not have to pay extra for it. And one more thing in here before we get to the main event. What the hell's in there? Oh, not that I'm going to use that in here in the UK. However, it's one of those ones for Europe and things like that. Suppose you'd want to throw it in your bag if you're going abroad, wouldn't you? So here we go, the main event. Right, let's get the box out of the way. Now this has been packed in, well, it is actually like a linen cotton type bag. It's nice, isn't it? But you don't really need it, but it'd be nice to keep it in good order. Oh, I am liking the look of this, to tell you the truth. There she is. And straight away, it just feels so nice to have that in your hand. The texture on it and everything else is absolutely awesome. That's something that Canon never really skimps on, isn't it? It is bloody brilliant, this camera, and I just can't wait to get out and start using it. But we'll have a quick scan around here. So the first thing, as we all know, or if you don't and you've been living under a rock for the last few months, is the fact that yes, it does have a full HDMI cable. I think that deserves a round of applause for Canon, because we've been asking for it for quite a few years now, because I hate those tiny small ones. The fact that that's in there is a big bonus in my eyes. You might even say it's tickety boo, might you?
Jolly spiffing, tickety boo.
I mean, I can't get over how this actually feels. I know I haven't got the battery in it, but it feels pretty light to me. And it's just really nice. That's the thing with Canon cameras, are really nice in the hand, aren't they? First off then, this is definitely weather sealed. They've got that new grip on the top here, or grip should I say, that new cover on the hot shoe on the top here. I lost, oh God, let me think. I lost at least 6 of them off the R3, which we're filming on at the moment. And apparently these fit onto the R3, and the R1 will come with one of them as well. So I've ordered one of these in the post, taking forever to come through. You wouldn't believe it, just for a little rubber grip like that, so I can stick it on that camera. One of the other things I really love about this camera is the fact that they've stolen from the R6 Mark II the video to camera switch and put it over here on the left hand side, rather than having to go through the modes on here. Now some people say why they put it on the left hand side. Must agree, it would be nice if we had it down here like you got on the R1, or, well, the R1's not even out yet, or is it? The R3, which is down here nicely, but it's not a biggie. I suppose if you actually got a lens like this on the end, the 24-105, which, if you're interested, I've done a review on that one, you'll find the link up here, and you're holding that at the front, what you're going to have to do is obviously go there and switch it over and switch it back, but that's not a big problem for me. The other thing I really like about this one is they've stuck the off, lock and on switch, which is again on the R3, it's down here. They've put it up here so it's nice and easy to get to. So I do love having a dedicated lock button on there, because once you've got your settings set up, especially inside where the environment's not going to change and things like that, it's nice to be able to switch onto locks that you can just use the camera without having to worry about hitting any of these buttons or twiddling the knobs and mucking up your exposure and things like that. Another big standout feature is the fact that it's got this viewfinder on here. This is exactly the same size. In fact, I think they've taken it off the R3, which is absolutely awesome. I love it, especially when you're wearing glasses and you can put those extra eyepieces on it and things like that, but it's absolutely huge compared to the original one and the ones on the R6 and things like that. Plus, inside that, which we're not going to go into at the moment, it's got that eye tracking for autofocus, and apparently, and I'll test it against the R3 one as well, but apparently they've upgraded that, so it should be even better. I personally like it because I've calibrated it really well. I've got it set up to just my eyes without any visual aid on it, so glasses or contact lenses, and just play around with the tuner on the side here, don't you, to get it in focus for your own eyes. I've got it set up for contact lenses, and I've got it set up for using glasses, so it's really easy to switch in and out between those depending on what type of shoot you're doing. The other thing to point out here is the button layout and the nice big joystick up here at the top. The layout's pretty similar to most other Canon cameras, so if you're used to Canon like I am, then there's going to be no changes that you'd need to play around with that. Not much else really to go over here briefly. What I will be doing, as I said, is doing a full dive into the whole camera, its functions, looking at what the video quality is like, looking at what the dynamic range is like, looking at what that stability is like, because apparently they've got rid of some of those wobbly corners when you're using the wide angle lenses, but we'll find that out when we give it a good test out in the field. I'm not going to look at the menu now neither, because apparently there's been a few changes on that, so we'll do a deep dive into that on a different video as well. But if you're interested in things like that, I'm sure there's other people on YouTube that have already done it, but I always do it, as you know, just like in a real world hobbyist user of things like this, not going into all that technical speak and things like that and all the nerdy stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it ain't my game, is it? And that's enough for the first impressions, because what I'm not going to do is get it, unbox it, stick the battery in, go and take a few photos and videos and come back and tell you how awesome it is. That isn't my game neither. Oh, there was one other thing, you know, overheating. Well, we'll test it, but look at this. There's actually some vents in the bottom here and in the side, which I'm not sure, but I would imagine this is for the fan and stopping it from overheating a little bit anyway. It's bound to overheat in 8K. I mean, what are you going to think with a tiny little thing like this using 8K video? Not that I'll use it that much. Anyway, I just cannot wait to get out and get in the field with this one and put it through its paces, test out that autofocus and things like that. But if there's anything you want me to test in particular, or you've got any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments down below. And if you found this useful in any way, shape or form, then give it the old thumbs up. It does help the channel out after all. And don't forget, hit subscribe, because we're going to be testing this in all different scenarios, and like I said, we're going to do some color grading with that C-Log2 just to see how great it is, because apparently the dynamic range on the C-Log2 will beat most things out there, and I'm looking forward to testing that. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe out there, have some fun, and above all, keep smiling. See ya.